Hey everybody, how are you? Happy Friday, hell's bells. It's finally here. Damn, this has been one long week. Between the killers of the world and all the, oh God, all the pimpy people, the tragically dressed, tragically ugly, mean AF. Oh my goodness. These dirtbags will not give us a moment's peace. What? Oh God Almighty! If I was a YouTube grifter, I would say that this is job security, but alas, I am not. Oh my goodness! I just knew that was going to happen. Mallory, is that you? Oh my God, you guys! You know what I did? Big mistake. I think I told you guys I was looking at cars. I'm still looking at cars. And, apparently nowadays going to a dealership is a thing of the past. I mean, the last car that I bought from a friend who's a dealer. So it's been a long time since I've had to buy a car. Oh, and even though you don't have to go and, do the whole car sales thing, you can buy the car completely online, the ones I've been looking at anyway, but they still want to get to look at the inventory. You've got to give them, hey Liz, how are you? Hey Crazy Nurse, how you doing? You still have to give them your email, which of course I give them a throwaway, and a phone number, and I give them a burner. However, the burner is still attached to, they're calling me, let's just say that, my goodness, an A for effort. They are, they are very persistent. Oh, yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk about a few people today. I have my little notes. Let me see. Not necessarily in order of intelligence, importance, sparkling wit, good looks. No, none of that. Hey, Alabama, how you doing? Ooh, Wim Lidgebrink. Greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings. How are you? What time is it in the Netherlands? Is it Saturday? You guys are what, like maybe eight hours-ish, something like that? Welcome. And that's a new name. Oh my God. Okay, so when I made the thumbnail, I think I added a person to briefly talk about before we get to, did I? No, maybe I'm saving that for another one. Okay. First, I'm going to give my standard disclaimer. Please do not leave here and go to any of the people that I'm going to speak about. Do not send them hate, harassment, no doxing, etc. And I know that for my lovely peeps, this all goes without saying. This is maybe for someone who, watches this on the replay and maybe doesn't know that I always ask, please, listen, y'all, we have enough dirt bags and dirt baggery to, we've got more than our share on here. So we don't want to spread any of that vile, gross nastiness that, these gross people that we talk about. So please remember, this is a bastion of civility, class, good taste, and good clothes, I might add. At least we try, okay? I try to, I just try and add my thoughts on these people in, my own way to the mix. I don't necessarily do it like somebody else might do it. I may do some things better. I may do some things far worse, but I try. Oh, my internet husband, Mike Stevens, has entered the room. How you doing, Mike? Oh, you guys, before I forget, although I think it is written down on my list, the little boy, JJ, in Hernando County, Brooksville, he's been found safe. And last night, it was probably about, between 6 and 7, I think. My husband's phone was charging in the butler's pantry, and I heard the Amber Alert go off, and it went off several times. And I thought, wonder why my phone's not going off. So mine was not enabled for some reason. I've since fixed that, but so I vaguely heard about it last night when my husband came out to get the phone. And oh, Mike, you're hold on, I'm going to tell you. Anyway, he just vaguely told me, oh yeah, there's a kid in Hernando that's missing. Hernando is close to me. Depending on where in Hernando it was, between roughly an hour. And my son, who I was speaking to at the end of the day on his way home from work, asked me if I had heard about it, and I said, yeah, that I had. And can I just tell you, that beautiful little boy looks, he is a doppelganger for a child that is in our family. And when I saw his picture, I was so taken aback by it. I went in and showed my husband. I said, holy shit, does he not look exactly like insert name? But yes, I am very happy to report that he has been found safe. He was found by one of the volunteer searchers who, WFLA, hey JB, that is I'm their home market. So that I rarely watch local and or even national news anymore. But if I do, it's the NBC affiliate for local news, WFLA, which is Hey JB. Most of you know them from the Gabby Petito case. So yes, he's been found alive and well. I'm sure he's going to need to be bathed in a gallon of calamine lotion because he's, oh my goodness, I'm sure he was just absolutely eaten by mosquitoes. But thank God it could have been. I'm just so happy that it is not the tragic result that I'm sure many of us were bracing for. So good news, finally. And I tell you what, it warmed my cold black heart to see so many local people from the community out to search. And one of those people from the community, not put it this way, I could have been there much quicker than she got there. Who am I talking about? Bullhorn Betty. Yes, Betty was there. Although I'm sure Betty had more than one reason. Oh, I'm sure that she had the utmost, care and concern for that child and got there as fast as her car could take her, or her broom, because she just was, wanting to lead that charge to search. Yes, I'm sure it didn't have anything with the super chats she was getting, which, by the way, not for nothing, like, you tacky bitch. I wonder how many people were out there. I saw a shot from Hey JB of all the people that were congregated at, you know, what we'll just call ground zero for the search party. And they were, you know, getting people grouped together in however they organized them. And oh, can you imagine? I'm sure she was right there wanting to be like in charge, like, I'll search, but I want to be the boss of the search. Oh, I can hear it all now. And yes, she was out there. I guess she, from what I saw, in the post I saw, apparently she walked maybe 2 blocks and then threw the towel in and decided, oh, well, he won't be there. You know, I'd like to say that, listen, I'm sorry. I've seen how she operates. I've seen too much of her. I don't believe for 1 minute that she went out there with, I'll give her a little bit of credit, probably more than I should and more than she deserves. But I'll go ahead and say that she probably, I don't know if I'm going to say 50-50. I think that would be too generous. I think it's probably more like 75-25. Like, I would imagine her alarm clock went off in the morning and, you know, it, oh, dark 100 when she got up, and she probably did one of these and went, oh, you know, I'm tired and I could probably make a lot more money if I just grifted on my usual coffee club. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do my good deed. I'll do a good deed, and, you know, maybe it'll offset some of those not so good deeds. So whatever. I can tell you what I would have said had I not known that she was out there getting super chats. If she could have just turned the tacky off for, you know, 15 minutes, I can promise you I would have come in here and I would have given her props, and I'd be having a different conversation about it than I am now. And if you don't believe that I would have done that, then you don't know me very well. And that's okay. But I can promise you, if she had said, I'm not, listen, y'all, I know you probably want to see this, so I'll live stream it. How many people do you think were out there with their selfie sticks filming themselves search? And how good can you search? Actually, that's a very legitimate question. How effective and in-depth of a search can you do when you're holding your selfie stick to film yourself? I don't know, because I don't do things like that. But had she had enough taste or class to just turn the donos off for, you know, whatever amount of time she chose to be out there, I promise you, I would have given her props for it. Not gonna have to do that. So, okay. So yes, fortunately, baby JJ is safe, and I know that we can all agree that that is a fantastic thing. Oh, and another fantastic thing. Well, Betty got her hair done. Oh, girl, I gotta say, it's a damn sight better than it was. So I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna compliment you on that. But Betty, girl, next stop is bald. And I was wondering last night, my husband and I were laughing because he came out and I was watching Heels in the Air, the video she did. I think it said Betty got her hair did something like that. Hey, Bash of Tragedy Pips, how are you? Oh God, you know what? I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. Oh, yes, Mike Stevens, we are both blondes. Then that's where the comparisons end. But I will say this. So I told my husband, I'm wondering, because here, all right, now let's get real about this. Clearly, Betty is what I call a blondeaholic. And, I'm a blondeaholic too. I'm just a more expensive blondeaholic. But that's when it's like it can never be blonde enough. But I don't do it to the extent that my hair melts off my head, because I don't DIY my hair. And I don't recommend it to anyone who's got heavily processed hair. Okay. Even hairdressers don't completely do their own hair. I mean, they'll do their color, they'll do the parts that they feel comfortable doing on their own. But I mean, I've only had 2 hairdressers in the past 25 years, and neither one of them has done their own hair completely and exclusively. So when I saw her hair, I thought, I don't believe that she probably consented to get it cut, okay? Because it looks like they took off a good, well, JLR, how big is that? Oh, sorry, I couldn't resist. That was a cheap shot. But it was funny. But let's just say it looks like between 4 and 6 inches of that burning bush has been either lobbed off or melted off. I'm just not sure which. And okay, here's the thing that gave me the biggest chuckle out of all of it, is thinking to myself, I don't know where she went to get it done. My guess, for more than one reason, which is going to become apparent, my guess is that she went to probably the cheapest big box retail hair place you can go, which I would imagine, I joke around and say Fantastic Sam's. I don't think we have those anymore. And I don't even know if places like that, do they even do color? But here's what I know, and what I was told by my own hairdresser to the stars when I showed her Betty's mess. I said, now if she came in your salon and said, what can we do? She looked at me and said, find another hairdresser. My hairdresser has been doing hair for about 40 years and constantly is getting education. She spends countless hours researching product lines, paying for very expensive, on either online or in person, what they call master level classes. Hey, Beer Can, how you doing? At any rate, yeah, she said unequivocally, I would not, the only reason I would accept her as a client and to sit in my chair is if we were going to take it all off and start from ground zero, which is bald. Hey, Crazy Nurse, how you doing? So I know damn good and well she had to either go to a very inexperienced, unethical, maybe both, and or unskilled hairdresser, because putting bleach on top of all of that extreme over processing that's been done, you are either going to cut off the portion, you're either going to do it yourself, or you're going to be, when you put your head in the bowl to wash it and she scoops out everything that's just melted off with the rinse and shows it to her, that's what you're looking at here, okay? So that's how I know she probably went to Great Clips or a place like that. My God, I'd have made her sign a damn waiver. What? Can you imagine? Because if they had, first of all, I hope to God it was not, I hope it was just someone greedy. who just said, because listen, not hairdressing is like anything else. Not just because you're working a salon doesn't mean you're ethical, or you own one. That doesn't mean you're ethical. And there's lots of people, just like any profession, they want your money. They don't give a shit if you've got unrealistic expectations. And an unrealistic expectation would be for Betty to think that all of the hair she entered with was going to be leaving still attached to her head at the end of the process. I promise you, she wasn't and she didn't. So the only question is, did she go to a salon that said, listen, I don't think it's a good idea. You're very over processed. Your shit's going to melt or just burn right off. But if you really want to do it, okay, fine. But we're not responsible for what's going to happen. Or they said, well, first we're going to need to cut off what's dead. I don't know. Who cares ultimately? My God, she looks, I'm going to give her a compliment. It's, the color is still Betty, Sweet Pea. Listen, there are shades of blonde, okay? No natural blonde is just one solid. Betty's blonde is just like devoid of color blonde. Do you see all these? There's many colors in here. And every time I go, I only get highlights like every third time. I only get toner like every fourth time. So I think Betty just thinks that the one whole complete brassy ass, no color is like, makes her a gorgeous blonde. It doesn't. It does not. It's too light, but I understand why they couldn't put any kind of depth or dimension in there, because the shit is, listen, that shit is still holding on for dear life, okay? I think by the look of it, my guess would be the hairdresser who should have just declined the service. Well, thank you, Mike Stevens. I appreciate that. That's because I go to a very, very accomplished and expensive hairdresser. That's why it's beautiful. But I appreciate the compliment very much. So my guess would be she went to someone that probably was not the most ethical, who wanted the money and who said, listen, I don't recommend it, but hey, you're the boss, you're the client. But just know that we're probably good. That cut looks like a forced cut or forced melting, because you can tell it still looks like Betty was there was probably tears involved, and she was probably very resistant to, because let's face it, she should have had at least that much more taken off, and it still didn't look like, it just to me looked like a salvage job. But Betty, if you're happy with it, girl, and it looks better in the respect that we don't have like huge chunks of breakage that she probably would want you to think is some kind of like lovely layering effect going. No. Now, what the back looks like, I don't know. Well, the only people that would probably know what the back looks like are the people that were searching for super chats with her. I don't know. So, okay, so there's that. Yeah. Yeah, Betty. Betty was filming her video, I guess, in advance of, was it yesterday when she went to court? Yes. In advance of yesterday's, very noticeable and prominent absence from the YouTube streaming platform in the early, wee hours of the morning. Where of course she lied her ass off and said, in my opinion, said she had some very important meetings with attorneys. Oh yes, I believe she very much did have some important meetings with attorneys. They were just what the rest of us would call court dates for being sued. Well, Betty calls that an important meeting with an attorney. Yeah. And then she went on a tangent about, what the hell was she talking about? It was Heels in the Air's video that said Betty for president. Because yes, she was sitting back much, and much like Joe Biden. Oh my goodness, she has a lot of verbal gaffes, just like Joe does. In fact, what did she? I wrote it down. It was funny. Oh, that's what it was. Betty felt some type of way about the fact that what she would like you all to believe is her idea of a nationwide database for CPS involvement. Now, I don't know enough about that. I'm not going to speak on that. What I do know is that I distinctly remember hearing on, I believe it was Burnt Toast. And if it wasn't Burnt Toast, it was someone of that caliber of a channel who does their research, not like these ass clowns who just shoot off at the mouth and don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because she knows that her people either don't know or care whether or not what she says is the truth. Like willful ignorance. So Betty was pontificating about, this brilliant idea of hers, which, from what I understand, is already in place. Maybe not exactly as the way Betty would like it implemented, but my understanding is, hey, Earth, how are you? Happy Friday. My understanding is that there is said aggregated or collated information when it comes to CPS involvement within the continental United States. And Betty, in one of her funny gaffes, was talking about how, well, if she has to call CPS, and something tells me she's probably called many times, probably not for the right reasons either. Just speculation on my part. But, she was opining that there's no reason that you should feel the need to have I can't even say it like I wrote it, but basically she was trying to say anonymity. But that's not what she said. Hi, Morning Glory. How are you? Oh, Morning Glory. We have someone else in the chat this afternoon from the Netherlands. Wim is from the Netherlands. My goodness, is there? Are y'all trying to make me like an international YouTube sensation? Am I going to be like an international woman of mystery? I'm already married to the most interesting man in the world. Yeah, so Betty, to which I would say Betty feels very strongly that you should not. There's no reason that you should want the benefit of anonymity. Now, I can see where Betty would say this because she can't logically take her thought and her feelings on something and walk it through to the next level, which is this. Because on its face, I can see where many people would say, yeah, that. Oh, Christina, that's right. Christina's from Wales. Christina, I had a distant relative from Swansea. Does that sound right? Hey, Bees Knees, how you doing? So anyway, I can see where on its face, at first glance, where people would sit back and go, yeah, why do you need anonymity to report something to CPS? If you don't have anything to hide, type of thing. But if you are a thinking person and you work, or at least try and operate from a place of logic and thought rather than just pure emotion, which is the case with many of these people. And my guess would be that's why a lot of them have had, significant interactions, we'll say, with law enforcement, because those are typically the people who have a lot of law enforcement involvement, people who are ruled by their emotions. If you're lucky, you tend to get past that after your, high school, early 20, mid 20-ish point in life. Because if you just walk it out a little bit, well, Betty, there's lots of reasons that people just think like a lot of the tragedy pimp people like you are often accused of. Well, people who are small-minded, hateful, dumb assholes, well, some of those people have been known to abuse systems like CPS. So, for that reason alone, if that were the only reason, I would be able to agree with Betty, because people should not be allowed to use that system as a weapon, because they're not smarter than the people that they're trying to go against. But, ultimately, I think kind of like with the death penalty, and people who are opposed to the death penalty, will say and believe that it is better for an innocent person, or how does it usually go? It's usually something like this. It's better for 1 million guilty people to walk free than for one innocent person to be put to death. I don't know. I guess it would depend on the... but I kind of look at this that way. If you were to remove the anonymity, now I definitely think that it would be nice if they could find something between completely anonymous and no repercussions for abusing their reporting system, and no anonymity at all. If we could find something in the middle, which, that's the sweet spot for most things in life. If we could find, I just feel like if you took the anonymity away, I think there's too many people, because of their own issues that they might have in their life, that, they don't want anybody knowing who they are and what they're doing. I think the trade-off is too great. I think you'd have, listen, there's tons of kids that are failed with the anonymity now. I think if you were to take that completely away, you would have, it would be disastrous. So, but this isn't about all that. It was about the gaffe she made. So yes, but I guess that was her, because my God, she could not go one day without being on YouTube. And I guess she's worried she'll lose her whole audience if she doesn't appear one morning, even via a pre-recorded video. Oh, morning glory. I've heard, did you know, oh, what was that girl's name? She was an Irish girl. I think her name was Stella, but I don't remember the name of her channel. She talked about how they don't play around in Ireland. Like, there's things you don't say and do there, because, yeah, exactly. They'll just come and, you'll, bye-bye. Yes, bees knees. I agree. There's just, there's very many reasons. I think that I will say this. I do believe that I would love to see the system improved upon in many respects, but very much in the respect of people being able to use it as their own personal pecuniary system, because people do. Stupid people. Okay, so that's that. That's all I want to say about Betty. Oh, now off to an old and dear friend of mine who I haven't caught up with in a while. The meanest, possibly, well, one of the dumbest, definitely close to probably the meanest woman on YouTube. And who would that be? No, not Betty. We just got done talking about Betty. Miss Prayer Garden of America. Yes. Now, in full disclosure, I will say that in my last career as Crimes in Fashion, I had a whole series of Prayer Garden of America videos, and Prayer Garden was very good to me. Not really. I mean, my channel. When I saw The Secret to Success back in the early days when I was like a YouTube virgin, yeah, I mean, I quite accidentally, when doing a very tame response to just meeting Prayer Garden. Hi, Lily. Laugh with me, Lily. Laugh with me, Lily. Are you Australia? I think Lily's Australia. Well, my goodness, we're just this is like an international coffee moment we're having in the chat today. Well, Alabama, girl, you might get your wish. I mean, we might have to revive those. Yeah, listen, ignorance, IGs, as I like to call them, IGs make my head hurt. I'm not a fan of dumb people. Can't stand dumb people. And when I say that, please don't think about someone who's just quite unfortunately not been gifted with a lot of intellect. No, I'm talking about why is it always some of the dumbest ass people think they're the smart ones? Why? I mean, my God. No. So I cannot get too immersed in Prayer Garden. She gives me a headache. She pisses me off. She is good for some laughs, though. I will give her that. But she just keeps coming up here, there, everywhere I go. She's like a proverbial bad penny. It's like everywhere I go, there she is. Oh, what I'm going to talk about, this is from AB's live last night, I guess. I watched it on the replay. Shout out to AB. One of our Canadian friends from the north. Yeah, I love it when AB really gets like a belly laugh at some of these people. Yeah, what I wrote down in my notes when trying to come up with a clever little title or a way to refer to PG. Well, I had lots of them, but I wanted a new one I hadn't used before. So tell me what you think about this. Prayer Garden of America. Our Pictionary prayer warrior, nemesis of Satin. PG, I don't know if she still does. Of course, she'd deny it even if she did. But, rumor on the street then and now was that, Miss Prayer Garden of America had the warm fuzzies for one Don Juan Wells. Yes. And one day, several months back, 1923, Morning Glory. How'd you figure out when Prayer Garden's birthday is? 1923, you say? Wow. Yeah, that would make her older than dirt, wouldn't it? I mean, she says she's hot. Oh boy, hot. No, I'm pretty sure she's not even like lukewarm. Um, hot's a relative term. I'm glad she's bash the tragedy pimps. PG lives 30 minutes from you? Don't tell me where you live. I don't want to know. Listen, this is no joke. When I did Prayer Garden of America last go round, I had people literally in my comments, and not just the same person, several different people putting, and not, I didn't ask, and I would immediately delete it. People putting all of what they said were her details. And all I'll say is first name started with a K, last name started with an M, supposedly, but they spelled it all out. Where they thought she lived. Hi, kid. How are you? So, I don't know. And I don't want to know. I don't care. But everyone busts on her so badly because, kind of like Betty said, PG operates under the cover of anonymity. Oh, listen, I understand. I mean, truth be told, no, I wouldn't have done it. But I understand why people want to keep their identities concealed. And not for nothing, before I forget, this is something that's always puzzled me. How does she do it? How has PG managed to keep herself? I mean, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of people who think they know who she is. I really don't care. I'm not going to tell her. I just find it's one thing to be operating under the cover of darkness, under the cloak of anonymity. Just because, maybe you've got a really good job like PG. No, not unless being a welfare queen is a job. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not telling you that's what she's doing. Oh, that would be my guess. Like with many of these people. Yes, YouTube. True crime / trauma community, proudly providing supplemental income to all the country's welfare kings and queens. We got a lot of disabled ass people up in this bitch. What is it about this place that like little disabled moths to a giant neon super chat flame? What is it? Does this go on other platforms? Are these just people with too much time on their hands? And listen, for anyone who maybe isn't familiar with me, I employ a lot of sarcasm, hyperbole, irony. I'm a smartass. It's just me. I'm not pleased if what I'm busting on does not resemble you, at least in a major way, then I'm not talking about you. Listen, I am not opposed to people who have been hurt or who are deficient mentally for one reason or the other. I don't have a problem with people being on disability when they're truly disabled. I mean, I'm not a monster, okay? But when you say you're disabled, but you seemingly have the ability to, I don't know, traipse all over the world in pursuit of super chats. Well, I'm going to call that out, and I'm going to bust on that. When I say welfare kings and queens, I'm talking about not those people who need a helping hand at a low point in their life. No, I'm talking about the ones who think it's a way of life. Yeah, the ones who would rather sit on their fat asses smoking copious cartons of cigarettes and harassing crime victims. And they want to call it a job where they are more than likely getting a whole lot of tax-free, not really tax-free, but, you know, they probably don't pay taxes on all their, you know, their grifting revenue. So that's who I'm talking about, okay? I am in no way making fun of or calling out people who have real, true need, okay? So let's not get that twisted. All right. So what do you think about that? Pictionary prayer warrior and arch nemesis of Satan and Candace Wells. Because you know Candace felt, Don Wells, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean, well, besides the many obvious things, but Don, what is it with this viper and you? I mean, I don't get it. Have you seen her? I did. I got a little bit of the backstory from many months ago. I asked someone who's been around this bitch a long time, or, you know, a lot longer than me. Oh, Alabama, absolutely. PG, I would stake my very life on the fact that she probably has more fingers on both hands than she has teeth in her head. I mean, that's just my guess. Everybody who's listened to her can hear her whistling when she tries to say certain words. I don't know, maybe she doesn't have her upper dentures in. I don't know. I don't know anything about dentures because I've never worn them, and I hope I never do wear them. I certainly do everything I can to keep that from becoming, you know, an eventuality. Yeah, boy, PG. It's like, if there's a couple things I know for sure. I don't have to see her to know. I know she wears dentures. I know she uses a Zippo. Probably a big fan of Mountain Dew. I know she is most assuredly not hot, because if she was, I'm pretty sure she'd be showing the world all of this that goes along with that big old brain of hers. So I got a little bit of the backstory about how did that whole situation happen? Like, what the fuck? I mean, y'all, here's the thing about me. And I'm sure many of you are the same way. I sit back, especially on a platform like YouTube or any of just the world at large. Hey, Tuesday child, how are you? Happy Friday. I sit back and I look at people like her, or I listen to people like her, and I will never, ever, 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 ever squared, cubed, pi to infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear said. I will never be able to understand why are there more than, I don't know, 10 people who sub to her, who listen to her. Oh, Wim, have you met who I call the Norwegian Shrek? One of PJ's, well, it's one of her ride or dies. Like, I don't know if she's still a regular, well, I'm gonna say panel guest. Well, that's right. Yeah, that would be the right term. She's like a fangirl of PG. As hard as that is to believe. And she is from Norway, I believe. And is that her? What is her name? Well, she'll be the Norwegian lady that kind of looks like Shrek. If Shrek wasn't green, she sits on PG's panel and she just, yep, yes, PG. She was very rude to PG. I know I'm butchering that accent. I apologize. So yeah, PG's got these little band of misfit, like, I don't get it. She does the same fucking show every night of the week. She tells the same lies, in my opinion, every night of the week. Like, oh, I don't know, that she's got little ones. I don't doubt that there's little ones running around her trailer. I'm sure there are, but they're not her children, little ones. Hey, Hippie, how you doing? Hey, K-Mash. Finola? Oh, is that seriously her name? It cannot be. Wasn't Shrek's girlfriend Fiona? And listen, I'm sure the lady is perfectly lovely, despite the fact that she wants to spend every night of her life with PG. That just tells me that, I don't know, Norway must not have good, I don't know, TV dinners and movies of the week. I don't know. But I sit back and I'm just like, what? Why? Why does anyone want to listen to her? She is a foul-mouthed, and she is truly foul. She says some of the most filthy things. The way she speaks English, supposedly that's what she's doing, makes me want to weep. I mean, I think I gifted her a lifetime membership to Hooked on Phonics or one of those things. So I don't get it. I don't understand. And please, for that dumbass out there who's going to go, you're just a hater, you're jealous. No, I'm a commentator. Nothing more, nothing less. I am commenting on what I see or don't see, what I hear. And I'm sorry, if you are like old school and you come from a place where, at a time like PG surely does, where, you know, you used to get rewarded based on the merits of your effort, your blah, blah, blah. But we're like, in this place, that's not it. I don't know. I understand everybody likes a train wreck. That explains a lot of these dipshits. Everybody likes a train wreck. But you don't like, yeah, you may do one of these when you're driving by, but you don't like pull over to the side of the road, throw your trunk open, get your, you know, your little soccer pop-up tent when your kids are doing their weekend activities, you know, put your tent out and move in. I mean, So I get it. That much. But a steady diet of that? Good God. I mean, you lose brain cells even being in the same country. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I asked this friend of mine who has been here a while, and I said, please explain this to me. Where did this nut job come from? And why? Why? And listen, people, come on, let's snap to reality here. Prayer Garden of America is a one-trick pony. She is a tragedy pimp like all the other pimps, but she's only got one client, and that is Summer Wells. And she has been exploiting that child probably from about an hour after she first went missing. There is not a damn thing her dumbass is going to do to bring about justice or anything else where Summer Wells is concerned. Summer Wells is her income, which probably supplements her welfare income. In my opinion, that's just my guess, that she very much fits the prototype that I have in my mind of people on welfare, like long term. If that makes me a hater, so be it. But I am so sick and tired of listening to that illiterate bitch sit up there every single night. It's the same group of people on the panel. I'm sure it's the same people in the chat. And it's the same bullshit every night. I'm here for summer. It's all about summer, moon, Utah whales. I'm here for summer. I'm all about summer. PG, how much of your super chat grift do you donate to, I don't know if Summer Wells reward fund is still up, but how about another missing children's organization in the name of Summer Wells? How much? Because if I had to take a guess, my guess would be this much. PG, for God's sake, girl, do you remember all the fruit baskets that I bought you from Edible Arrangements? Just as a very, as a civilized woman's way to thank another woman for all the good you did for my channel. Well, god dang, girl, I think the least you owe Don and Candace is a damn fruit basket. So hit me up. I can point you in the right direction. I mean, truth be told, you probably should buy him a friggin' car. Remember, like my husband bought you when you found me in that nursing home I was locked in. Me and my naughty ass old legs. Do you remember that, PG? And I told you my husband was so happy. He'd been looking all over for me. And you were kind enough to tell everybody I was in a nursing home. How did you put that? Something about you old bitch with your naughty ass leg. I'm still trying to figure out what naughty ass legs are. But PG, I'll put my naughty ass gams up against yours any day of the week. PG, ooh, maybe we should have, maybe we should have some kind of a fundraiser, and we could give all the money to a children's charity. I think when I challenged you to this before, what is the name? I believe, if anyone in the chat knows, can you tell me, Is it called the Isaiah House? It's a really nice, I think it's a transitional place where children who are going to be put into foster care, I think they first go to this Isaiah House if they're blessed enough to be able to go there, and they get it. It's a great house. There's several of them. I'm just remembering all this from, I mean, God, it's been almost a year. Officer Dangle, you are very correct. I am not a hater. My heels and my standards are higher than PG's. PG could not walk across the kitchen in my heels. Now, maybe in her kitchen, I bet she's got a linoleum floor. She might be able to get a little better grip on linoleum than, you know, travertine, but I think it's called the Isaiah House. And I know that yes, Officer Dangle, yes, correct. Yes, okay. PG, show your face. I challenge you. Show your face and wear your shortest skirt and your high. That's what she told me. She said, listen, you old bitch. Just because I don't have to put on a fucking short skirt to entice some old motherfuckers. That is what she told me. See, I tell you guys all the time, I can't remember what the hell happened 5 minutes ago, but I can remember way back. Yep. And I challenged her then, and I'm going to do it again. Show your face, PG. Or, God, even show your legs. Put your gorgeous, long, skinny legs that may very well be long and thin. They probably are riddled with varicose veins, probably those big kind that look like they hurt. Yeah, PG, think of the money we could raise. You show yours, I'll show mine. They'll have to pay to vote. And then we'll take the money and we will donate it to Isaiah House. What do you say, PG? I'll do it. Just a thought. Yeah. Yeah, PG, make no mistake about it. You are every bit as bad as all these other dirtbag people we talk about. You have done nothing. You tell me. I used to ask you 100 times to tell me what it is that you sitting on your panel telling the same group of people who, by the way, not for nothing, all those people are very well aware of the fact that Summer Wells is missing. So what is it that you sitting up there with the same Mensa panel every night, collecting all kinds of super chats and money, tell me how that is helping Summer Wells. What is that doing to bring Summer Wells home? What's that you say? Nothing? Yeah, right. Yes, it is just to enrich your EBT balance. Yeah, I agree. Okay. But yes, this person that gave me a little bit of the history said, well, condensed version, she was a regular guest, I suppose. Elor, I love your avatar. Alabama, PG's chat is probably only more restrictive than Betty's. PG, much like Betty, like all of the pimp people, tolerates no criticism, no dissension, no nothing. You noticed, I'm sure, if you were here, occasionally, it doesn't happen that often, but occasionally, just because they haven't found me, but trust me, I'm sure that'll change. Occasionally, people will come in here and say very rude, snarky things. And I always laugh. I've invited people to come tell me about myself anytime they'd like to, as long as they can, try and keep the vulgarity to a minimum. But you will never get that from any of these people. They're like little dictators. And hey, it's their channel. Do what you will. But, so I was told that basically PG was, before she had a channel, and I'm just relaying to you what this person who's been around a long time told me. Whether or not it's completely accurate, I don't know. It's just a story. But yes, I was told that PG, before she had her channel, she was a regular feature on Ziggy's, definitely in the chat. I guess that then became a lot of her going on panel. And believe it or not, she kind of tried to hijack every night's stream. I mean, that is shocking, I know. But yeah, so apparently, I don't know if Ziggy had enough of her, or if, all the other people that listen to Ziggy had enough of PG trying to, because listen, I get it. When you're very bright, that's just what you do. You scream as loud as you have to, as long as you have to, whether you have to or not, to make sure everybody knows what your point of view is. So yeah, apparently, I guess, for whatever reason, she became, persona non grata as far as being a regular feature on a panel, and decided just start my own channel. And that's what she did. And I guess, obviously people followed her. I have not checked her sub count since the last time I had anything to say about her, which was many, 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 many months back. One thing she used to always accuse me of, which, PG, I finally know what it means, girl. She was always accusing me of being in her back chat. Y'all, I barely knew what the hell the front chat was and how that worked. So now that I know what the back chat is, I'll say what I said then. I was never in your back chat, your front chat, your side chat. Unlike a lot of people, I do not go to channels that I can't stand. I don't do that. I'm not going to give you the view. It's that simple. All these gross people, I listen to and or find out about them on other people's channels who I do like. So this that I'm talking about came from AB's live yesterday, where he was dragging her. So, and what is PG going on about? Well, in a nutshell, and I know next to nothing about it, so all I'm going to say is that there's a picture that has been circulating that another creator put out and alleged that it was PG. And quite unfortunately, that woman's online life has been made very difficult because of that. And quite rightly, she and her family feel some type of way about it. It's just very unfortunate that her family decided to go on this old bat hag bitch on her panel, because I'm just going to say, I don't know their names. I'm just going to call them doppelganger. So quite unfortunately, ma'am and sir, because I guess it was the woman's daughter-in-law and her husband who appeared on PG's panel. And I'm sorry I don't know your name, but my message would be the same regardless. PG, that's not the place that you want to go if you're trying to make this situation better / and or go away. Because if PG thinks she can ring a nickel super chat out of your misfortune, oh, trust me, she very much will. And I hope that I won't be sitting here talking about this a few months down the road when you have had, a very large falling out with her, because you're probably going to find out rather quickly that, PG usually only has one person she exploits for money, and that's Summer Wells. But hey, she's not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So if she can use your situation to make herself money, she will. And if you doubt that, well, just watch what she does in relation to your photo. And if you choose to continue to go on her panel, well, just let me know. Just take a look at the super chats and get back with me and let me know if she ever offers to, I don't know, throw something your way. I doubt it. See, I'm not monetized. But if I was, that's just that kind of stuff. Bah, gross. I consider myself to be very generous when it comes to, I just have manners, y'all. And all I can say is, if I had someone as a guest on my platform and I made $1 talking about their situation because I have some class and some manners, what I would quite naturally do at the end of that stream or interaction with them, and not on camera, but I would say to them, listen, I really appreciate you coming on and blah, blah, blah. And, what's your favorite restaurant, or whatever the case may be? I would find a way to share the love, but that's just me. I'm pretty sure she's like all these people. Oh, I don't think that's the way they roll. So, and PG, God, she's such a martyr. Of course, that goes along with being a very religious woman. Martyrism just kind of, is that a word, martyrism? Well, being a martyr, it just, it goes kind of hand in hand with religion. And, well, PG said something that, and it really caught my attention. And I'm gonna read it to you, and then I'm gonna tell you why it caught my attention. Because being the good little martyr that she is, she has a lot of important responsibilities. Hey, Peggy, how you doing? And she took time out of a very important responsibility, a sick child, to come and deal with this situation live on YouTube. And this is what she said. Quote, y'all, even though she had to seek medical attention for her sick daughter, end quote. PG's still, oh, yes, and there is that. And doppelganger family, I'm sorry, I don't know your names, but whoever you are, I'm sure you've noticed by now that she has this very unsettling and or delusional way of referring to herself in the third person, like she's, well, there's lots of reasons people do that. I'm not going to speculate why with her. I already have. I think you can figure it out on your own. But it was the choice of words that really struck me, because not for nothing, another thing that I'm sure you all already have a very good grasp on the obvious, and that is this: PG is quite literally probably functionally illiterate. If she has more than an 8th grade education, I would be shocked. And, you know, I don't know why she chooses to go about in this world in such a way, because it's not a flattering light to be in. PG, you know, you can be mean, you can be dumb, and you can be ugly, but you damn sure can't be all three. So my ears perked up when I heard that choice of words from her. I don't know what it means. Probably means she's full of shit. I don't know. I certainly hope her daughter isn't sick. But if her daughter, trust and believe in this, she does not have any school-age children. Of that, I'm quite certain. So no matter how old her daughter is, I certainly hope the woman is not ill. But don't let her purport to you that she's got little ones. Yeah, she always little ones running around. No, because the last time I checked, the big M, that being menopause, yeah, menopause precludes being able to have little ones at PG's age. And I don't think somehow that she would be, very qualified as an adoptive parent either, or a foster parent. So don't fall for that. And she wanted to give these folks some legal advice. So she got her abacus out and she started sliding beads to figure out what 15,000 times, per person. So apparently there's 3 people that PG has advised them they need to go after. Doppelganger family, I don't have any clue if you do have any kind of civil and or criminal remedies for the use of your family member's picture in relation to Prayer Garden or anyone else on this platform. But I do know this for certain. Please do not take any advice, legal or otherwise, from Prayer Garden of America. And we're almost done with her, I promise. Yeah, PG, apparently, to hear PG tell it, her and her channel are the only hope that the missing children of the world have, is that PG keeps her grifting going every night of the week. How does she put it? She always says, it's PG is about these kids. It's about these kids. I'm the only channel that's about these kids. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, and my goodness. Guess what? What was that I was saying about only having one client that she exploits? Well, she might be getting ready to get 4 more. The Idaho 4 case. She actually said some stupid bullshit about how she's looking into that and helping get those kids some justice. Get justice on the way to them. Oh my God in heaven. PG, listen, it's one thing to be playing around with Don and Candace Wells. It's quite another to be attempting to wade into the waters of a case like that. Save yourself a lot of PG. Just don't. Just don't, honey. Trying to help you. And we're going to end it with PG on a humorous note. Y'all, I wrote down a few reasons I think that, well, might explain why PG won't cam up. Besides the obvious, that she's butt-ass ugly. Did I say that? My God, I'm sorry. I meant to say that she's super hot. Okay, so here's just a few reasons that I came up with as to why, very legitimate reasons as to why PG may need to keep all that hotness on the down low. Could she be in the witness protection program? And if so, what do you think she did? I'm sure it would be some, much like myself. Oh, son of a bitch. Much like myself, maybe a white collar criminal. You think she did that? I don't know. Maybe some oh goodness. Maybe it was like a very high level Ponzi situation. I don't know. Could it be that she's the head of some kind of an international espionage ring? I mean, I don't know. I think it sounds legit. Could Scott be stalking her for her last payday loans that she didn't pay? Oh, because PG banks at Scott. She does. You got to bridge the gap between those the first of the month. Is the first of the month when the EBT cards get all charged up? Could it be that PG is spending all her free time when she's not, saving all the children of the world? Could it be that she is in a lab somewhere where they are mapping PG's human genome to make like a super breed of prayer warriors? Oh my God. Oh, yep, we got some superhuman prayer warriors up in this bitch. Oh, maybe she's editing the newest edition of Quantum Physics for Dummies. Oh my God. She could be coming up with a brand new Christian-based homeschool curriculum. Oh, just a couple of the little ditties I wrote down that I heard her say in when AB was streaming it. One of them was talking about making a mockery of something, and she said, making a mockery. And listen, y'all, for anyone who might not be familiar with Miss Prayer Garden of America, I mean, I'm sure you're writing this down so you can immediately run to your TV when you're done listening to me. These are not like just one-offs. I mean, I butcher words all the time, mainly because I'm just talking too fast or because I'm parched. But PG, that's a bird of a different feather. So there was mockery, and there was my God, I tried to write it phonetically, and now I can't even figure it out. Connor. Oh, instead of no. Confercanated. Confer. Yeah, that. Okay. Oh, and the last thing I wrote down was, I don't know, maybe they're using her mouth as like the prototype for a new Aspen Dental special denture plate. Shit, I don't know. God almighty. Oh, this has been exhausting. Oh, and we're just now to the good part. Okay. I watched Burnt Toast, her review of PayPal Mal. I only got to. I'm a mess, you guys. I am dropping shit everywhere. Hi, Bob. What are you doing? Okay, I only got to 1 hour and 18 minutes on Burnt Toast. Her live from last night and her panel, which that was something different. I've never seen Burnt Toast with a panel before, so that was fun. And listen, there were a couple of her guests. One was somebody Parker, was it Lady Parker? I don't know, but she was hilarious. It was very entertaining. Excuse me. Oh, Tooken. Yes, Alabama Tooken. Yes, that's one that she regularly. You're in the back chat. Oh, you're back in the chat. Earth, I was about to say, damn girl, I didn't even see you come in the chat. How'd you get to the back chat? Back chat, side chat, front chat. Okay. This is obviously going to have to get broken up into a couple parts. I got halfway through, and just because I ran out of time and brain cells, and even just for that hour, I have thoughts. So here goes. We'll get as far as my sciatic nerve will allow me to go, and you all will be kind enough to humor me. Mrs. Parker, BGTV, weren't you on there too? Mrs. Mers Parker, how do I say it? Mr. Z, Mr. I don't know, but y'all were fun. Oh, okay. Oh, you came in at just the right point. Listen, sorry, everybody if we all had to suffer through Prayer Garden of America, I hope you suffered along with us to get to the good part. And here we are. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this out of the way, because this is where she's going to try and go with. I know she'll try and do it with me. I'm sure she tries to do it with everybody. So we're going to nip that in the bud right here and now. This is not about trans bashing, LGBTQ anything bashing. Mal, you're a shitty person. That's why I'm bashing you. Not for anything else. And you can wrap yourself all nice and cozy in that rainbow trans flag. In my opinion, you do that as a way to shield yourself from your very bad behavior and the things you say, the disgusting, outrageous things you say. And you're not going to like a few of the things I have to say here. And I feel like I have been exceedingly respectful to you, and I've humored you. You, on the other hand, think that you get to be as rude, disrespectful, obnoxious, hateful as you want to be, but, oh, I'm trans, you're trans bashing. And I think we went over this the other day, just in case you missed it. My pronouns, fuck and you, okay? Yeah, Mallory, I pride myself on not being an e-beggar. You apparently, it's an art form for you. But you know what? You do you. That's you. But your whole 2% black. Okay. You're 2% black, 100% asshole. And I have said many times, I'm the same age as you, Mel. So 53, if that in fact is your age. I'm not woke. And when I say that, I mean, I try to not go around deliberately offending and or hurting large groups of people. And it's really not that hard to do. I may not know all of the up to the minute correct vernacular as far as how different groups of people want to be addressed, but I don't feel like I have to, because if you have a little bit of manners and or class, that typically takes care of that problem. But I feel like when I say I'm not woke, in relation to what I'm about to say to you, what I mean by that is I'm gonna start off trying to put it rather diplomatically. And then further down the page, I'm afraid I'm just gonna let you have it. But we'll start off with, how about this? I feel like I'm a cross between a Barbie doll and a unicorn. And just because that's how I see myself, that doesn't mean that if you do not see and or address me in that manner, well, see, unlike you, I'm not going to say that that means because you don't see me as I see myself, I'm not going to say that you're a hateful bigot. So just let that one sit for a minute, because it's only going to get worse from here. I told you the other day, you don't get to roll around demanding respect, because from where I sit, you don't give any. And you want to wrap yourself in that trans flag because you think it gives you some blank check or a blank screen. You think that gives you some protection, but you get to just say whatever you want. And I know why you do it. But I'm pretty much done with you with you thinking that you're the only one who gets to be rude, tasteless, gross, mean, and that you've got this rainbow force field around you. You don't. So my gloves are off where you're concerned. I have censored things I've wanted to say out of an abundance of, making sure that before I tell you what I really think, that you actually deserve it. And you do. And you don't just deserve it from me, you deserve it from everyone. And I don't want to hear about it's dark humor, it's comedy. Like I told you before, people who are truly funny, I'm sure you would love to fancy yourself as, a very controversial figure. You're not controversial. You're not provocative. You are a desperate attention whore, is what you are. Who has thrown your lot in with all the rest of these nut jobs, who also will do anything for attention. And let's face it, you got too much competition in that department when it comes to getting it the good way or the right way. But don't worry, we're getting to that. Okay. So no hate. The things I'm getting ready to say to you, I can assure you, I would never say to someone who I have not sat back and watched as I have you. No, that apparently is your life's / YouTube career, all one and the same, because I think this is your life. It is not mine. So I don't have any problems in my real life. I am very well aware of how to behave and how to treat other people. You seem to have not gotten that message. But what you are crafty enough to know is that you can use your how you identify as some type of a blanket / shield against getting told some things you need to hear. Yep, that's always her go-to excuse. And from where I sit, you seem to make a business out of just being ugly inside and out. And I have held off saying things to you that I would have said to other people because they deserve it. Just like I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't like me and have a lot to say about me. Well, I put myself on this platform. All I ask is that it stays confined to this monitor here. I don't go out. I don't go real life on people. I don't encourage anyone to go real life on people. So I'm not a hater. I am commenting on what I see in you. Yeah, you demand respect, but you don't give it to anyone. And I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. I think it's how it's worked on here for you for a while. But unlike you, YouTube is not my life. And you're not gonna, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'll take the repercussions of that gladly. Because I've thought about it before I've come in here to do it. I've been thinking about it for a while. Yeah, when you're more desperate for attention than you are smart, the result is Mallory. So for anyone on this platform that she has disrespected and been disgusting to because she is a bottomless pit of need, that what's wrong with you, sweetie? It's all up in here. So you can do whatever you want down here. Oh, and don't worry, we're going to talk about that. I mean, anyone who, here's a news flash, Mal. Most people are not so desperate for some kind of validation that they will quite purposely and without any real reason go straight to what your better judgment should have told you not to. I would say, if you're a decent person, it just wouldn't occur to you. What kind of a fucking asshole puts on a t-shirt when I don't give a shit what your 23andMe, whatever that genetic testing thing is. I don't care what your little test tells you. You look white to me. And it takes a special kind of person to deliberately want to invoke those kinds of feelings in people who haven't done anything to you. All because you can't get attention like I get it. I don't have to set myself on fire to get noticed. I promise you this, Mal. When I walk in a room, no matter how big or small that room is, I get noticed. And for the right reasons. There is nothing in this world that would make me put a t-shirt on that said something like that for multiple reasons. Not the least of which, normal people do not want to have large groups of people gunning for them because of their poor judgment and bad taste. I mean, normal people don't want that. But because you are so twisted inside, here and here, seemingly, you think that's like, I mean, honestly, I'm glad I don't live next door to you. Because to me, I mean, it's kind of scary that anybody would do shit like this. I don't get it. I mean, I get it in the abstract. But the thirst is real. And seemingly at any cost. I mean, we're not even mentioning how many people are unhinged nut jobs in this world. Who in the hell goes out of their way to invoke those kind of feelings in people? For what? A super chat? It says way more about you and what you got going on up here than I think you can even understand. This is the woman that, as she's busy trying to, just for kicks, get herself into a children's cancer hospital where she didn't give a damn about putting children with no immune systems at risk, because she's a dirtbag grifter. I'm sure also living on what, SSDI for some kind of disability. I may be wrong about that. If I am, apologies. But you guys need to get over this thought that you have that what you're doing on YouTube is a job. It's not a job. You clearly use it as a platform to air your seeming, we'll just say, insecurities with the world. You do a lot of things that are not indicative of sound mental health, in my non-doctor opinion. Like what? What next? And you had the nerve, you wanted to call me a mean girl. Why? Because I'm holding a mirror to you and I can speak better than you when I tell you about yourself? All I'm doing is looking at what you're putting forward for us to consume. You are truly, man, you got issues. I hope you take some of your super chats and find yourself a good doctor, because you need one. Oh, and while we're on that, get your estrogen checked, because I think we already talked about that. Because yeah, you're looking bad. Your face, like, I would get your Home Depot filler, whatever that shit is, in your cheeks. You know that can, like, kill you, right? Do you know that? Instead of worrying about getting bathtub cock shot into your ass, oh, poor choice of words, sorry, in your face, man, you got problems that injections aren't gonna fix. Hey Coco, how are you? Oh no, listen, Lily, there's no human decency when there's super chats to be had. And, this is all in the name of comedy. She is a comedic legend. Hey, J Dub, how are you? Yeah. And I tell you what, I've only seen half of the review that Burnt Toast and the panel did, all with everyone on the panel, people of color. even though I've only seen half, I can assure you that they're going to be far kinder to you than I am. Because I've just run out of I've run out of respect for you. I've run out of, insert name. I mean, this to me is all like a bigger commentary on a lot of what the hell is wrong with this country. Oh, and I'm still waiting to find out about the tongue. What the hell is that? What is that? Like, it's like it doesn't fit in her mouth. And, listen, she's a comedy genius who feels free to, shit all over large swaths of people. So I'm not holding any punches back where she's concerned. I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind. So what is wrong with your tongue? Why? I don't get it. Have you put so much shit in your face that your mouth is stretched out and your tongue's too thick? What is it? But it just unnerves me every time I have to see his ugly face. And yeah, I am. I'm going there. Just because I call myself a unicorn, that doesn't make me one. If you're kind enough to address me as a unicorn, because I'm a, decent person who shows you some respect, well, that's great. Then so be it. As I've always done to you. But you know where I am now? Where I am now is you are a mentally ill man with breast implants and a dick. That's what you are. Okay? That's what you are to me. You want respect? You want to be addressed as you want to be addressed? Well, you got to give a little to give a little, to get a little, to give a little. Yeah, that. You are so offensive and disgusting and foul. And I'm done humoring you. As others should be as well. Treat people like trash. And if you have to repeatedly tell someone how funny you are, you're not funny. And I can assure you, I would not say what I just said to any other trans person unless and until they behave as Mallory behaves and disrespects pretty much everyone, but thinks that they are untouchable. You are not. It's like I'm sick of all you people. All you do is take and what exactly do you add to this conversation? Besides, your comedic genius. You have said the most. I'm sorry. When you come after children, what you said to Dre McRae, who you and your fat ass friend Molly Golightly are so bitterly, bitterly jealous of. I mean, I don't care what you got hanging between your legs. And whether you're wearing a dress or pants, who goes after someone's children? The money that you assholes made and make off of all these people's tragedies. It's so sick. I mean, are you proud of yourself? I don't get it. And I don't need, like, listen, there isn't a damn thing you can tell me. You can't talk to me about anything. Nothing. Not girl things, not boy things. And man, you must have checked your pride along years back. All the shit you said about Molly. And you look at her like some kind of freaking starstruck weirdo. Like, do you think she's famous? She's not famous. Do you think you're famous? You're not famous. I don't give a shit if you've had 1 million views, 1 million hours, 100 million views. Because guess what you don't have? Clearly, you don't have any meaningful, personal, intimate relationships in your life. Because if you did, you'd probably have better things to do with your time. I mean, do you know how, like, what is that? Are you in the 8th grade? I've got 1 million views. What do? All you people that shut your channels down every other day. Well, sorry on behalf of all the people who, I don't know, sometimes the scuzzy disgustingness like you know, God, if you're normal, like, oh God, it gets to you. You just need to take a step back. So congratulations, you have 1 million views. And I mean, is it that ugly room you sit in? Is that why you're so mean? I mean, those colors, you know, I remember watching The Glarer one night, and he's fortunate that I guess he doesn't have the knowledge base of you that many of us have. I mean, I don't have a lot, but I have more than him, more than I want. And he was talking one night about how he thought, I forget how he put it, but basically what he said is, that room she's sitting in, that's not someone's house. That is an efficiency motel. I don't think it is. I mean, I think I've always heard that house is Alabama. I've been there, Lady Chablis. Oh my God. If you ever get the chance to go to Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, the house, go. It's amazing. But yeah, I don't get it. Like, what is it that makes you, I mean, you are, oh God. You can try and put forth this, what I'm sure you want people to believe is like, I don't know that arrogance is the right word. I think that Mallory would like you to believe that Mallory has a really good self-esteem, firmly intact. Oh, I beg to differ. In fact, I think quite the opposite is true. I think Mallory is probably quite tormented inside, as should be evidence by the outside. And everything I have said about you during this live stream is because you're an asshole. I don't give a damn about your trans status. I don't have a problem with trans people. Or the L, the B, the G, the T, the Q, etc. Because I don't have to slap those labels on you or anyone else. I'm just curious as to why you need to. Like, why do you have to lead with that? I mean, I can think of a few reasons, but we don't have to. We don't have to go there. I think I've made my thoughts on that pretty plain. Oh, and I found out something I didn't know. Oh, you know what I wrote down that she reminds me of? If you took Leatherface, added Michael Myers, the resulting love child would be like an old beat looking Bret Michaels. Yeah, that's sorry, Bret Michaels. Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Leatherface. Yeah. If you weren't such an asshole, I'd probably have a lot more sympathy for you, but I don't. And I will say that it probably has to suck a lot to have to be in that kind of a place, to exist in, like, to have YouTube literally determine if and when you're going to eat. So I guess she's got to always come up with some new outrageous next thing. I mean, that shit would keep me up at night. I can tell you that. It truly would. J-Dub, you are absolutely correct. That comment says it's not a trans issue. It's a Mallory behavioral issue. Yes, it is. And nothing more. I don't hate anybody. No one. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. Will that be next, Mal? Is that where you're going to go next? Because, there's some things that are never funny. They just aren't. But you don't seem to have any, it's like nothing is out of bounds for you. I mean, I'm not here white knighting for anybody. Here's how I feel. If I'm going to be on here putting my thought and energy into anything that I do, which is how I do it. I don't just come on here and, just start running off at the mouth. I think about it. I write it down. I think about it. And if I'm going to spend 1 minute on here, well, I'm going to spend 1 minute on here being exactly who I am. And I'm not going to water it down for anybody. Oh, well, J-Dub, there you go. Not that, I'm not going to say that your comment means more now that I read that, but I think it adds a perspective. So I'm going to read this comment too. J-Dub's next comment says, I am LGBTQ and my wife and I find Mallory's behavior repulsive. As do I. As do, I would imagine, most decent, normal people. But I know exactly how she will attempt to spin this, but I don't care. I truly don't. This is a hobby. And why would I spend 5 minutes of my time and or energy having to try and not be myself? And listen, I get it. I'm not for everybody. I don't expect to be and I don't try to be. What I do try is to not just be an asshole. I don't try to go out of my way to hurt people or give them a hard time. I hate a bully. I can't stand a bully. And I'm just calling them as I see them. Well, strange clouds, I would agree. That was disgusting to go to my state and act like an overgrown buffoon. Now you're going to have to narrow it down, please, to what state. We've had, these idiots, they trip the light fantastic. They go to all, they travel all over the country debasing themselves. So you're going to have to help me. Narrow it down a little. Bob, no, I do not have any lingerie or bikini try-on hauls. For any number of reasons. Number one, I'm old. Gravity, it gets the best of us. Although I will say, I do still have a rock board abs that you could bounce a quarter off of. But no, I don't do lingerie or bikini hauls. And then there is the little fact that I'm married. I have kids. No, I don't do shit like that. But oh my goodness, I'm sure there's plenty of channels that do. Now, what was I talking about before that? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. So one of the things I found out. Bye, beer can. Have a good weekend. One of the things I found out watching Burnt Toast, she said that Mallory has had several different names and has been, her words, kicked out of several communities. I would love to hear more about that. So if anybody knows, please enlighten me. Oh, J-Dub, you were told you were a bigot. Oh boy, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of that coming my way. Oh well, say la vie. Yes, I'd be very interested. And she said that her own sister was all over Facebook calling her an e-beggar, and that, she was embarrassed by it, which, sometimes when something sounds very reasonable, well, it's probably true. And I can tell you that, yeah, if my family found out I was grifting on YouTube, and I'm not talking about being monetized and, having people tip you when you're doing a live. No, I'm talking about, like, and what does she do with the money? Mallory, that is. Because Mallory, let me tell you something. You can call yourself whatever you want. You can call yourself a well put together woman. No, you're not. You probably were not at all attractive to start with. You have then gone and put all kinds of shit in your face that doesn't belong in your face. Who seems to have a large collection from Shein or Wish of polyester designer inspired knockoff clothing and shitty wigs. So it's like, it makes me wonder. You don't put your money into your home decor, obviously. You certainly don't put it into wardrobe. I don't know. I tell you what, I saw a few pictures. PG's Mocracy. I saw a few pictures that Burnt Toast put up. Wow. We've come a long way, baby. Let's just say, ooh, there was one that was taken on what looked like maybe the front porch of a house. Well, J-Dub, I'm glad you're entertained. And truly, this particular bit of honesty, as you call it, it's been coming for a while. I've been pushing it back down inside of there. Hold on, I got to go back up and read. Oh God, Tuesday. No, the shoes. Okay. Strange Clouds. Tell me. I was scrolling up to see if I could see what comment you were responding to. Be careful around these streets these days because people are changing that, just not sorry actions. Tell me what that name changes everywhere. Tell me what that means, because I don't see what you're responding to. Oh God, and the Amazon wish list. Shit. You know what? Somebody tell me when there's a wish list for my Porsche Panamera. Okay? That's when I'm gonna make a wish list. Fucking wish list. It's like, there seems to be a serious lack of pride in this place. It's like, does anybody calling anybody, is pride like, do you have to check it at the door when you, I mean, I haven't had a million hours of views. I'm not, I'm not anywhere near as popular, smart, or cute as Mallory, but I'm just wondering. I'm just asking for a friend. No, you really don't ever know who you're speaking to, do you? Well, I try to, I try to treat everyone like they deserve to be treated. And I really try to, I think the way I usually put it is I don't talk about people that are not problematic people. Oh, and I just quite naturally assume that no one is who they say they are, and everything that goes along with that. But I'm definitely see that this is I'm sure just when you think you might have a few things figured out, you find you have yep. Everybody's I know the hate watching thing. I know that explains a lot of it. That explains some of it, but I don't know. I just don't. It's very disheartening to think that there are so many people that want to listen to people that are not nice, not smart, not even attractive. So it's like, what? I don't know. It scares me for, I don't know. I mean, the country is a mess. And I think we just see, I don't know. I just try and just hope that what my husband always says is true. He's like, honey, you're just in this really weird, gross, very teeny weeny tiny percentage of the whole platform. The whole place is not like that. It's just where you are. Oh God, that's that. I don't know that makes it any better. Okay, so yeah, I definitely would love to hear about where else Mal has been. That would be very, very enlightening. So yes, okay, one of the first things that Burnt Toast talks about, it's a stream where we got big girl MGL on the left, putting on makeup. Has she had a gastric bypass? Or was that a very old stream? Because I don't watch that train wreck. So I can't take her accent. But I've always heard that, I mean, it's quite obvious that she's a fan of surgery, which I don't give a shit. But she doesn't strike me as the kind of girl to diet. So has she had gastric bypass or something? Because J-Dub, see that? Lady Colin Campbell. Oh, I don't know who that is, but I'm writing it down. I will check that out. Because Molly looks significantly bigger than she does now. Okay, so there's Molly on the left putting her makeup on. There's Mallory on the right. And Mallory seems to be that weird, like, starstruck. Ugh. And they're talking about, and honest to God, the two of them could almost be the same person. Weight notwithstanding. because Mallory or Molly is now quite a bit thinner, it looks, than what's her Mal. But at that time, I don't know how long ago it was, but they honestly could be the same person if you're just looking. Yeah, let that sit. Yeah, Molly and her Don Madden glasses. Oh, that's why I'm wearing these, by the way. These are my homage to Don Madden and MGL. And they're talking about what kind of men they like or something like that. And it's all about and you know it was weird besides the stupid shit how they were like, I mean, it was like they were ordering in a restaurant. But what I thought was gross about it was, I don't know, call me old school, but I just, as a married woman, I'm not sitting on YouTube talking about what types of men I like. Now, when you're single, it's one thing, but that's, hey, that's just me. You do you. Hi, next to Red. How are you? Oh, so she's had a gastric sleeve, and she still has to do liquid diets. Oh, listen, you can stretch those things right back out. There's an idea for a show. The two of them, they could get in Molly's, I'm sure what's a luxury car, and the two of them could drive to, well, they don't have a 600-pound life, but I guess if they worked on it, they could. Maybe they could, like, the two of them could each get to 300 and they could combine their 300-pound lives. They could go see Dr. Now. Nah, I'm just busting on her. Molly's definitely, I mean, I could tell she had some kind of something done because she was significantly heavier. So yeah, it was about, let's see, first it was Asian men. Molly likes Asian men. Okay. And then Mal talks about the Mexicans, and she says, quote, and this is mid-sentence, cute little Mexican men. I don't know, they look thirsty. Well, I'm not even sure what in the hell that means, but I do know this. No one has ever been speaking of either one of them and started the sentence with cute little insert. It was just weird and like, what, like, seriously? And people pay them for this shit? Like, this is, okay. Yeah, and see, here's the thing. That's the kind of shit that, listen, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I do anything in my life to advance race relations or any social issues at all. I do not. But here's what I do. I try to just, be decent. I try not to purposely go out of my way to say something stupid and or outrageous that is going to make people angry, cringy. Like, what is wrong with you that this is how Like, have you already gone through your other bag of tricks? Like, you're all done. You're in that bag, and we're down to, probably the lipstick on the bottom, the pen that doesn't have a cap. If you smoke, like I remember from 25 years ago when I used to smoke, and you'd have pack cigarettes in your purse and it turns upside down and all that like loose tobacco. Yeah, that. It's just so gross. And if it were just things like that, whatever. It's that not in the big scheme of shit that pig says, that's nothing. But and Mal, by the way, I just want to let you know, in case, I'm sure everybody's already gotten this message, but nothing says white trash like drinking out of a half-gallon Polar Pop cup, your cocktails out of one of those. Like, oh God, she really is. Now, please, nobody get offended over me saying white trash. I'm not making a blanket statement that you're white trash if you have a Polar Pop cup, because actually my husband has one. And I think you used to get free refills on it. So see, even Chateau Lisa has a Polar Pop cup. But Lisa, like, I prefer to have my drinks out of, a lovely crystal cup like this, which, I think Mallory saw mine and got inspired and got herself. Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't get herself anything. Her subs bought it for her. Yeah, because I noticed she had one. Oh, well, they do say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Oh, goodness. Well, then, Mal, you ought to take note, honey. Just keep hitting pause. Got that. Yeah, lots and lots of people. Oh, when the Polar Pop thing, yeah, that was a news stream where she was talking about watermelon cocktails, something like that. See what I mean about just going out of her way to? It's like that. It's just not funny. It's not. I mean, like, does anybody think it's funny? Oh, next to Red, I just, if somebody else streams it, I just won't give any of these gross people. I will not give them a view. But I'm sure somebody will clip it and play it. Yeah, it's just, and the thing is, it's like, it doesn't really matter as a white woman. It doesn't really matter if I think it's disgusting. It doesn't. Because it's a slur that's not aimed at me. So I don't even have standing to be offended by it, but I am. Okay. And whether I have the standing or not, I am. And there is the fact that it reflects, it's just embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for her. I wish that she had more class about herself, himself, herself. See, I just quite naturally fall right back into, I have for so long humored the delusion That's how I'm going to put it. Because even though it doesn't affect my life one way or the other, I don't care what she does in her bedroom. I don't care what's under her dress or her skirt or her khaki pants or her jeans. I don't give a shit. I truly don't. But there is only so long that I'm going to keep extending respect and courtesy to someone who does not give any. Like, you don't get to demand that. And turnabout is fair play. So I said my piece, and that's just how I feel about it. But I am not, I'm not on some kind of a mission to, like I said, I don't give a shit about her. I truly don't. I don't care what anybody does in their life, as long as it doesn't infringe on mine. If it doesn't hurt me and or my family, I don't care. I'm calling her out because she's a shitty person. That's why. It's not about what color she is. It's not about her sexual orientation. It's not about how she wants to identify. I don't care. But, you know, when you're abusive, sometimes you need to get, you know, served a little dose of your own. See how you like it. I mean, more than anything, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for her. And it is sad to think that, hey, Snickerdoodle, how are you? It's embarrassing to think that somebody is that desperate to be, I mean, quite literally, it's kind of like she has to light herself on fire for attention. I mean, because when you want to wear something that provocative, that is a desperate need for attention is what that is. And if she were nicer, I'd probably feel a little more sorry. And Mal, I can, it's very clear that you have a little, you know, a little girl crush. I don't know, whatever it is that you look at Molly Golightly in this weird, like, starstruck way, like she's some kind of celebrity. Listen, you, just like anybody else that she collabs with, all you people are nothing more than a means to something for her. Whatever, and I don't know. Whatever it is, she's got more subs than all of you. So hell, maybe all of you combined. So I don't know. I don't want to be in her head either. You know, she doesn't quite set herself on fire. And I think she's much smarter than all of them and manipulative. but I can promise you she has no friends. She might make alliances or collaborate with people because it will somehow further something she wants. But she's not your new BFF, and she will drop you like you're hot the minute, well, I don't know what it'll be, but you'll probably say or do something. Well, it'll be one of two things. Whatever use she has for you at the moment will be done and over, and she'll kick you to the curb because she doesn't need you anymore. Or you will bring that about in a quicker way because you will say something that even she will not want to be in the vicinity of. Oh my God. So, y'all, it's been 2 hours and 36 minutes and counting, and my sciatic nerve has pretty much had enough. Oh, we shouldn't have spent so much time on Prayer Garden. But I figured we'd be coming back we were going to have to come back for part 2 because I only watched half the episode and I'm done for tonight. I'm going to try and make Savages at 9, at least for a little bit. And then my husband and I are going to watch a movie. And I know Sunday, oh, thank you, Lily. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Sunday, I definitely will not be doing anything. I've got something to go to. Probably not tomorrow either. I need a break from all this gross people, gross stuff. I don't get how anybody spends every day. I don't even like watching this shit every day. Making content every day? Oh, God. Thank you, Earth. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody who came and hung out on Friday with me for a little while. I'm starving. I'm going to go get something to eat. Hang out with my husband. Doing real people things that do not involve YouTube. All right, everybody. I will... Oh, Monday. We always do, or I always try to do Monday because we do YouTubers behaving badly. Weekend recap. They never disappoint. All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I thank you for joining me. This has been Crimes in Fashion, where we talk about some very bad. How many adjectives do I have now? Very bad, poorly dressed, mean, usually ugly, AF people, dressed to kill, along with fashionistas, felons, and Fruit Loops. All right, y'all. I will see you out on these streets. Have a good weekend until we meet again.